I was just 17 when I met him, the boy who made my heart race and never came back. This is my first love story. Asterisk. Sometimes I still remember the way he held my hand, the boy I loved and waited for, but who never returned. Asterisk. They say first love never dies, and I can still feel his smile after all these years. Asterisk. I was just 17 when I met him, the boy who made my heart race and never came back. My name is Eleanor, but everyone called me Ellie. I grew up in a small, quiet town where streets were lined with old houses, gardens bloomed with roses, and the smell of fresh bread filled the morning air. Life moved slowly, but everything changed the day I met Thomas. I first saw him tossing pebbles into the fountain in the town square. His hair was messy, his eyes the color of summer skies, and when he smiled at me, I felt something I had never felt before. At first, we didn't speak much, but one afternoon, our eyes met, and he said, "Hi." My lips trembled as I whispered back, "Hi." That small word changed everything. We began talking about small things, the colors of the leaves, the songs of birds, the smell of bread from the bakery. Slowly, our conversations grew deeper. He told me about his dream of becoming an artist, and I shared my love for writing stories. Every word he spoke made my heart beat faster, and every time he looked at me, I felt like he could see right into my soul. We spent afternoons by the riverbank, throwing stones and laughing, or sometimes just sitting quietly, letting the wind brush our faces. In those moments, the world seemed to shrink to just the two of us. Letters became our secret language. I kept every one of them, tied with a ribbon, rereading each word whenever I missed him. Every fold, every little mistake in his handwriting felt like a piece of him was always with me. One spring afternoon, under cherry blossom trees, he held my hand. My heart pounded, and warmth spread through me that I would never forget. It was simple, innocent, and perfect. We promised each other that no matter what happened, we would never forget these moments. We dreamed of traveling the world, of painting skies with colors only we could imagine. Our love felt endless, even though there were hints of reality, family expectations, responsibilities, the world outside our bubble. We focused only on the light, the smile, the touch, the magic of being together. Those were the happiest days of my life. That was my first love, the boy who made my heart soar. And though life would one day take him away, those first moments, the letters, the walks, and the hand-holding are treasures I carry in my heart even now. Asterisk. After that spring, Thomas and I became inseparable. Every day felt like a new adventure. Even if it was just walking down the familiar streets of our small town, we would meet under the big oak tree, near the school, our secret haven, and talk about everything. We shared our dreams as if they were fragile treasures. He wanted to paint the world in colors no one had seen before, and I wanted to write stories that could touch people's hearts. We promised to support each other's dreams, no matter where life took us. There were afternoons when we would sneak out of our homes and wander through fields of wildflowers. I remember how the sun would warm our faces, and the breeze would carry the scent of earth and blooms. He would hold my hand tightly as we ran through the grass, and I would laugh until my stomach ached. In those moments, it felt as if nothing could ever go wrong. We believed in the magic of our love, and we thought our hearts could never be broken. Thomas and I made small promises to each other. We swore that we would always write letters, that we would never forget these days, and that someday we would travel the world together. We talked about the future, dreaming of cozy cottages by the sea, painting murals on walls in faraway cities, and sharing stories under the stars. Every promise felt like a thread weaving our hearts together, stronger than anything else in the world. Yet, even in our happiness, there were hints of reality. Our families had plans for us, and we were young and unprepared for the challenges life could throw our way. Sometimes, I would see worry flicker in his eyes, and I knew he felt it too, but we never spoke of it aloud. We chose to live in the present, savoring every touch, every smile, every stolen moment. That was our way of protecting our fragile, beautiful world. There were quiet evenings when we would sit on the hill overlooking the town. The sky would turn shades of pink and gold, and we would dream together, our hands intertwined. I would whisper my fears, my doubts, and he would hold me close, telling me that we would find a way, that love could conquer everything. I believed him with all my heart. Those nights taught me the depth of hope, the power of trust, and the innocence of first love. We shared our first kisses under the soft glow of lanterns during town festivals. The air was filled with music, laughter, and the smell of roasted chestnuts. My heart would flutter every time his lips brushed mine, and I would feel as if the world had stopped just for us. Those small, tender moments were everything. They were proof that love could exist in its purest form, without conditions, without rules. Just two hearts recognizing each other. Even our disagreements were gentle. A misheard word, a misunderstanding, or a fleeting jealousy would pass quickly, replaced by laughter, apologies, and reassurance. Thomas had a way of making me feel safe, even in moments of fear, and I had a way of making him smile, even when the world seemed heavy. Together we learned the beauty of patience, understanding, and unwavering care. As summer turned to autumn, we began to realize that life was changing around us. Thomas spoke of responsibilities he could not ignore: work, family, and duties that would take him away from our little town. I felt a lump in my throat every time he mentioned leaving, but I tried to smile and tell myself that love could survive distance. We clung to our letters in secret meetings, hoping that promises could bridge the growing space between us. Despite the uncertainty, our hearts remained joined. Every letter he sent carried hope, every word a reassurance that he had not forgotten. I would read and reread them, imagining him speaking the words aloud, holding his hand in mine as I did. That was our world then, a world of dreams, whispers, and quiet love that grew stronger with every passing day. Those months of dreaming together shaped me, taught me the joy of youthful love, and showed me the courage it takes to love someone fully, without holding back. I knew, even then, that our love was special. It was a love that could not be measured by time or distance, and though the world outside threatened to pull us apart, inside our hearts, we remained forever young, forever in love, and forever dreaming of a future only we could imagine. As much as we dreamed, life had other plans. One chilly autumn morning, Thomas told me he had to leave the town for work. It was not a choice he wanted to make, but a responsibility he could not ignore. My heart sank when he said it, though I tried to smile and nod. I wanted to be brave, to tell him I would wait, that I believed in us. But inside, my chest ached, and tears threatened to spill. The days before his departure were filled with hurried meetings, secret walks, and silent moments that spoke louder than words. We clung to each other, memorizing the warmth of our hands, the softness of our smiles, and the little quirks that made our love ours. Every glance, every touch, felt like a farewell, though neither of us dared to say it out loud. The thought of waking up one morning and not seeing him made the world seem colder and emptier than I had ever known. When he finally left, he promised to write every day. For a while, he did. Letters arrived like lifelines, carrying his love across miles. I would read them over and over, tracing his handwriting, imagining his voice, and holding on to every word. Each letter was a reminder that he still cared, that we still had a connection that distance could not sever. But as weeks turned to months, the letters slowed. They became shorter, less frequent, and sometimes never came at all. I remember waiting by the window on stormy evenings, hoping to see him walking down the familiar lane, even though I knew he was far away. My heart ached with every passing day, longing for a boy who had once promised forever. The seasons changed, and I grew accustomed to the silence, though it was a silence that hurt more than any harsh words could. Nights were the hardest. I would lie awake, clutching a ribbon of his letters, feeling the emptiness of his absence and the weight of memories that would not leave me. Family and friends tried to comfort me, but no one could fill the space he had left. I was expected to move on, to focus on my studies, to become a proper young lady ready for the responsibilities of life. Yet my heart refused. I could not erase the afternoons by the river, the letters tied in ribbons, or the gentle touch of his hand under the cherry blossoms. Each memory was a sharp yet beautiful pain, a reminder of the love I had known and the loss I had suffered. There were moments when I saw boys in the town and tried to smile, to pretend I could feel something for them, but no one could ever compare to Thomas. No one had his laughter, his gentle eyes, or the way he made me feel like the most important person in the world. I learned that first love is not just a passing fancy. It is a deep, enduring connection that leaves a permanent mark on your heart. Time moved on, as it always does. I tried to immerse myself in work, in helping my family, and in living the life that was expected of me. Yet every letter I received from Thomas, even when rare, sparked hope and heartbreak at the same time. I clung to the memories, afraid to forget, afraid to let go. His absence became a silent companion, a shadow that followed me through the years, shaping the way I loved and trusted others. The hardest day was when I realized that he would never come back, not because he did not love me, but because life had carried him in another direction. It was a truth I could not escape, though I cried for nights on end, holding the last letter he had sent, remembering the smell of his clothes, the sound of his voice, and the softness of his hand. My heart felt heavy with grief, yet full of gratitude for having known a love so pure and profound. Even though Thomas was gone, the lessons of our love remained. I learned that waiting does not always bring reunion, that hearts can break and still carry beauty, and that the memories of first love are treasures no one can steal. The pain of separation is a bittersweetness, a reminder that we loved fully, honestly, and with all our hearts. It is a love that shapes the rest of your life, teaching patience, longing, and the courage to hope again, even when the world has turned cold. Through it all, I kept the letters, the memories, and the dreams we shared. They became my secret sanctuary, a place I could visit when life became too ordinary, too heavy. And even as I grew older, married, and built a new life, a part of me always remained with Thomas, the boy who taught me what it meant to love and to lose, and who left a mark that would never fade from my heart. Years passed, and life moved on, as it always does. I married, built a family, and created a home filled with love and laughter. Yet, in the quiet moments, when the house was still, or the sun was setting and painting the sky in gold, I would remember Thomas, the boy who had held my hand under cherry blossoms, who had whispered dreams of the future, and who had filled my heart with a love I had never known before. Even though life had given me many joys, there was always a small, tender ache that belonged only to him. I wondered sometimes where he was, what life had become for him, and if he ever thought of me. I never sent letters, never called, because I knew the world had moved on for both of us. Yet the memories remained vivid, like old photographs tucked away in my heart. I could close my eyes and see him laughing, feel his hand brushing against mine, hear his voice in the wind. Regret is a quiet companion. I sometimes wished I had fought harder, waited longer, or written more letters. But with every passing year, I realized that life had given me exactly what it wanted to teach. First love is not about forever. First love is about discovery, the way your heart opens for the first time, the way innocence meets longing, the way joy and pain mix into a memory that shapes the rest of your life. I learned that love does not always end the way we hope. Some hearts are meant to meet only briefly, leaving their mark and teaching us lessons we carry forever. Thomas taught me courage, tenderness, and the ability to love fully, even when it hurts. He taught me that the depth of feeling is more important than the length of time, and that letting go does not erase the love we hold. There were days when I would sit by the riverbank we had loved so much, staring at the water and imagining him beside me. I could see him smiling, tossing pebbles into the stream, and I would smile too. It was a bittersweet comfort, knowing that a love that ended could still bring warmth to my soul. Those memories became a part of who I was, quietly shaping the woman I grew into. As I grew older, I shared pieces of my story with my children and grandchildren. Not every detail, but the essence of first love, the excitement, the dreams, the longing, and the pain. I wanted them to understand that love is beautiful, even when it is fleeting, and that every experience shapes the heart. I told them that the first person we love teaches us something no one else can, and that remembering them is a gift, not a burden. Even now, sitting by the window of my quiet home, I feel a mix of sadness and gratitude. Sadness for what could have been, for the moments that slipped through our fingers, for the boy who never came back. Gratitude for the love we shared, the dreams we dared to imagine, and the lessons it taught me about living, loving, and remembering. Regret is not a prison, it is a teacher. It reminds us to cherish what we have, to love deeply, and to hold on to the beauty of the heart's first awakening. And though Thomas never returned, his presence lingers in the corners of my memory, a soft echo of innocence, joy, and the first taste of love. To those who listen to my story now, I offer this: love fully, cherish deeply, and never forget the first person who touched your heart. Even if life separates you, even if time moves on, the essence of first love remains. It shapes you, it teaches you, and it reminds you that your heart is capable of feeling something extraordinary, something that stays with you forever. Asterisk.